Aliens didn't build the pyramids, they didn't invent Wi-Fi, and I'm pretty sure they're not hiding in your Uncle Gary's shed. Yet somehow, entire subcultures are convinced extraterrestrials have nothing better to do than mess with our crop fields and occasionally probe random farmers in Iowa. These theories aren't just dumb, they're spectacularly dumb, like the kind of logic you only get after 3 Monster energy drinks and a History Channel marathon at 2 a.m. And the wild part? What you've heard is the sane stuff. The real madness, the claims that make moon landing was fake, sound like Harvard research, is still coming. Buckle up, this is where human imagination completely leaves Earth. 1. Let's start with the classic, the theory that aliens built the pyramids, because apparently humans figuring out triangles is just too unbelievable. Ancient Egyptians were capable of astronomy, irrigation, and embalming bodies so well, they're still holding up better than modern politicians. But no, Reddit swears they couldn't possibly stack rocks without an intergalactic contractor. The theory basically says aliens flew across the galaxy, looked at Earth, and decided, forget curing disease, let's help these desert guys build pointy tombs. That's like Bill Gates showing up at your house to fix your IKEA chair while ignoring world hunger. If aliens did build the pyramids, they also deserve credit for inventing traffic jams, bad hieroglyphic graffiti, and sand in every shoe for eternity. 2. Then we've got the moon landing was fake, because Stanley Kubrick obviously had time between 2001, A Space Odyssey, and faking NASA footage. But wait, the conspiracy gets juicier. Some insist the reason we faked the landing was because aliens told us to back off. That's right. Apparently the moon is interstellar private property, and Neil Armstrong was just trespassing. Which means Apollo 11 wasn't the triumph of mankind. It was basically a neighborhood dispute. Imagine Armstrong stepping out, planting the flag, and a little green HOA president pops up screaming, "This is a no-flag zone." The best part is, people believe this while texting from GPS satellites orbiting the very same planet. Technology that relies on space to prove we never went to space. Bravo. 3. One of my personal favorites, lizard people. According to conspiracy legends, aliens didn't just visit Earth. They put on human skins like discount Halloween costumes and now run our governments. That's right, Queen Elizabeth wasn't just a monarch. She was apparently a shape-shifting iguana with a tiara. Forget campaign speeches or political scandals. The real skill test for world leaders is not letting their reptile tongues slip out on C-SPAN. And people really believe this. They think alien lizards are secretly orchestrating everything from taxes to Taco Bell's limited menu. Which, honestly, if lizards are running the show, the Doritos Locos Taco was a solid move. Still, if you believe world domination is being run by cold-blooded lizards, congratulations. You've just confused planet Earth with an episode of Sesame Street. 4. And of course, Area 51. People are convinced it's a giant alien zoo where the government hides UFOs, crashed saucers, and possibly a Starbucks for Martians. Never mind that it's actually just a test site for experimental planes. Nope. It has to be where they keep ET on life support. Remember when 1 million people signed up on Facebook to raid Area 51? Yeah, because nothing screams smart strategy like storming a highly armed military base because you saw a meme. People genuinely think the government is hiding entire alien civilizations there, but somehow the Wi-Fi signal still drops after 30 feet. If there were aliens in Area 51, trust me, they would have left after watching Americans eat Tide Pods for fun. 5. Let's talk crop circles. Because when you travel light years across galaxies, you don't land, say hello, or fix climate change. You flatten cornfields into spirals. Humans look at these weird patterns and think, ah yes, this is clearly alien communication. Not maybe some drunk farmers with planks got bored. If crop circles are the aliens' big message to humanity, then we've been ignoring galactic doodles for decades. It's like someone leaving elaborate sticky notes on your car windshield, and you're still debating if it's art or vandalism. And of course, no alien has ever thought of writing hello in English, just circles. If that's really the height of extraterrestrial intelligence, then NASA should send a giant Etch-a-Sketch into space as a peace offering. 6. There's a theory that aliens built Stonehenge, because clearly, prehistoric Brits couldn't have dragged some rocks around without cosmic babysitters. Imagine traveling billions of miles through space with all your advanced tech, only to land in England and decide, yeah, let's arrange these stones into a mediocre concert venue. The aliens didn't cure plagues, didn't invent antibiotics, didn't even bother teaching anyone basic dental care. They just made a circle of rocks that looks like a failed IKEA project. If Stonehenge really is alien construction, then aliens are basically interstellar dads yelling, "Hold the flashlight steady," for eternity. Honestly, if that's the best they could do, I'm not worried about an invasion. They'd probably just land and spend 3 hours arguing over instructions in Swedish. 7. Roswell, the holy grail of alien conspiracies. In 1947, something crashed in New Mexico, and half the world immediately decided it was aliens, not, a balloon. Apparently, aliens traveled across the universe, dodging black holes and cosmic radiation, only to crash in. Rural New Mexico. That's like driving a Ferrari across Europe and wrecking it into a Walmart parking lot. Conspiracy theorists love Roswell because the government did cover up details, which obviously means aliens. Or maybe, just maybe, the military didn't want to tell the world about their spy balloons during the Cold War. But sure, let's believe ET showed up, crashed once, and then decided Earth was a bad Yelp review. 8. Some people swear aliens built the Nazca lines in Peru. The giant geoglyphs etched into the desert that you can only really see from the sky. The theory goes, humans couldn't possibly have drawn giant lines without alien architects, which is fascinating because humans had already invented the wheel, the calendar, and stabbing each other for fun. But straight lines? That was clearly beyond us. So instead, aliens dropped by, turned Earth into their giant sketchpad, and left. If the Nazca lines were their grand communication, then what exactly was the message? Dear humans, here's a really big bird and some squiggly lines. Good luck interpreting this? That's not interstellar brilliance. That's doodles from the universe's most bored intern. 9. Then there's the Hollow Earth crowd, who claim aliens live inside our planet like it's a cosmic Airbnb. Apparently, the Earth isn't solid, it's just a shell with a glowing alien paradise inside. Kind of like the world's worst Kinder Egg surprise. They believe UFOs don't come from the stars, but from secret tunnels at the North and South Poles, where aliens apparently pop out like groundhogs. If that were true, Google Earth would have spotted a giant space highway by now. And let's be real, if aliens were living under us all this time, you'd think they would have left after hearing Nickelback. The idea that an entire alien civilization is squatting in Earth's basement is basically cosmic landlord fanfiction, and the rent is apparently free. 10. Speaking of squatting, there's a theory that aliens helped Hitler. Yes, apparently the Nazis had UFO technology gifted by space beings who looked at World War II and thought, yeah, let's back that team. Never mind advanced medicine or ending the war, they allegedly handed the Nazis blueprints for flying saucers, which raises a question. If Hitler had alien spacecraft, why did he lose to snow in Russia? You're telling me aliens gave him interstellar tech but forgot to include a winter jacket? If there's one thing this theory proves, it's that even in conspiracy land, no one can resist making everything about Nazis. Honestly, if aliens did visit in the 1940s, they probably left after realizing humans were the worst Yelp review in the galaxy. 11. And then we have the Mothman is an alien theory. Because nothing says extraterrestrial intelligence, like a giant moth that allegedly warns people of disasters. Forget spaceships and hyperdrives. Aliens apparently thought, you know what Earth really needs? A 6-foot bug with glowing eyes flapping around West Virginia. Of course, skeptics say Mothman sightings are just birds, but conspiracy theorists argue it's an alien scout. Which makes sense. When NASA explores Mars, we send rovers. When aliens explore Earth, they send a flying insect that gets stuck in porch lights. If the galaxy's best reconnaissance is basically a monster rejected from Sesame Street, I think humanity's safe. The only real danger is being dive-bombed while grilling burgers. 12. Some folks claim aliens built Easter Island's Moai statues. Yes, the stone heads. Because apparently carving big rocks into big faces is just too advanced for ancient humans. Instead, aliens must have flown millions of miles to the most remote island on Earth just to drop off statues. Forget curing cancer or giving us Wi-Fi without buffering. No, they carved giant heads and dipped. If that's their idea of interstellar art, then aliens are basically the Banksy of space, mysterious, overrated, and making us question whether it was worth the hype. The real kicker is that the statues actually do have bodies buried underground, which archaeologists proved. But sure, it's aliens. Maybe they buried the bodies because even they were embarrassed by their sculpture class. 13. Let's not forget the people convinced that aliens are behind the Bermuda Triangle. Planes disappear, ships vanish. Obviously, it's aliens, not, say, hurricanes or navigational errors. Apparently, aliens parked their invisible mothership in the ocean and have been fishing for planes like it's a cosmic claw machine. The logic goes, because we can't fully explain every disappearance, it must be space kidnappers, which is exactly how toddlers think when they lose their toys. It disappeared, so it's magic. If aliens are behind the Bermuda Triangle, they're the least efficient kidnappers in history. Hundreds of ships go missing, and not one alien has thought of just walking into Walmart to see what humans are up to. 14. Some conspiracies say aliens invented religion. That's right. Moses didn't see a burning bush, he saw a UFO. Jesus didn't walk on water, he was just levitating with anti-gravity boots. Basically, the theory says every holy figure was an alien influencer running the ultimate PR campaign. Forget centuries of theology, it was just E.T. cosplaying as a prophet. Which makes me wonder, if aliens are behind religion, why did they make the rules so complicated? 10 Commandments, reincarnation cycles, dietary laws, it's like reading IKEA instructions written by Yoda. If aliens wanted to run humanity, they could have just invented Netflix centuries earlier and saved us the trouble. At least that religion would have had better snacks. 15. Ever heard of ancient astronauts? That's the theory that aliens seeded humanity itself. Basically, we're the interstellar equivalent of a science fair project. Hi, welcome to the Andromeda District Fair. This is my Earth terrarium, featuring tiny mammals that fight wars over Wi-Fi passwords. The idea is that aliens tinkered with our DNA, which explains why humans are different. Sure, or maybe evolution did its thing. But I guess some people just prefer to believe we're alien Tamagotchis instead of products of biology. If that's true, our creators really phoned it in. You gave us opposable thumbs but forgot to make knees that work past age 40. Thanks for nothing, cosmic scientists. 0 stars, would not recommend. 16. Another gem. Aliens are stealing cows. UFO sightings and cattle mutilations are supposedly proof that extraterrestrials are obsessed with livestock. Because when you've mastered interstellar travel, what you really need is a steady supply of beef jerky. Farmers report finding cows drained of blood or missing organs, and the immediate conclusion is aliens. Not predators, not disease, aliens. Which means, somewhere in the galaxy, there's an alien fridge filled with questionable hamburger meat. Honestly, if you're an all-powerful space race and your dinner plan is cow sushi, you're not advanced. You're just gross. And if aliens are responsible for cow abductions, then Chick-fil-A better prepare for a hostile takeover. 17. And finally, for now, aliens built the Great Wall of China. Yes, because stacking bricks in a line for a really long distance is apparently beyond human capability. Forget centuries of dynasties, forced labor, and human stubbornness. The only logical explanation is aliens decided to make the world's longest "Do Not Enter" sign, which makes no sense because the wall didn't even work that well. It was breached plenty of times, so if aliens did build it, they were basically the cosmic version of a lazy contractor. Sure, we'll build your wall, but no warranty on invasions. Honestly, if aliens built the Great Wall, then I want to see their Yelp reviews. Spoiler, they'd be 1 star. 18. There's a theory that aliens are responsible for the Mayan calendar ending in 2012. You remember that apocalypse panic? People stocking canned beans and buying survival bunkers like they were prepping for a zombie rave? Yeah, apparently that whole "world ends in 2012" thing was because aliens created the Mayan calendar as some cosmic countdown clock. Which makes 0 sense, because if aliens wanted to warn us, why choose a civilization that didn't invent email? Why not just put "World Ends 2012" on the moon where everyone could see it? The Mayans were brilliant, but they weren't intergalactic timekeepers. They were just people who got tired of carving rocks at some point and said, "Hey, close enough. Let future humans panic." If aliens actually wrote the Mayan calendar, then they were the galaxy's worst pranksters. Basically the equivalent of writing "you're adopted" on your brother's birthday cake. 19. Some people think aliens sank Atlantis. That's right, not earthquakes, not tsunamis, aliens. Because apparently advanced civilizations can conquer the stars but still enjoy tipping over mythical cities like it's a giant game of Jenga. Conspiracy theorists insist Atlantis was a high-tech alien outpost that got wiped out to hide the truth. Which of course raises the question, if you're advanced enough to build underwater metropolises, why not just waterproof it? If aliens really sank Atlantis, then they weren't gods. They were drunk frat boys on spring break with a UFO. Honestly, the only real evidence for this theory is that humans will blame literally anything except themselves. Can't find a city? Aliens? Lost your keys? Probably aliens too. Maybe Atlantis didn't sink at all. Maybe it just moved to Miami and changed its name. 20. There's also the alien theory about the Sphinx in Egypt. Some folks claim the Sphinx is way older than historians say, built by aliens thousands of years before the Egyptians. Because sure, why give credit to people who literally built a civilization in the desert when you can just hand it to Martians with free time? The theory usually hinges on erosion patterns, because apparently water damage equals aliens did it. If that's the standard, then every leaky basement in America is an alien construction site. And let's be real, if aliens came here to build monuments, why stop at one giant cat statue? Why not a Taco Bell drive-thru, or at least a parking lot? The Sphinx's alien creation theory is basically the archaeological version of "my dog ate my homework." Lazy, dumb, and oddly persistent. 21. Some conspiracy theorists swear that the US government made a deal with aliens, like a trade agreement. But instead of oil and steel, it's, "you can abduct a few farmers if you give us cool laser guns." The theory goes that Eisenhower himself signed a treaty with extraterrestrials in the 1950s, exchanging human test subjects for technology. Which makes me wonder, where's the tech? Where's my flying car? Because all I'm seeing is Bluetooth that barely connects, and printers that still jam like it's 1997. If aliens really struck a deal with the government, they must have scammed us harder than a Nigerian prince email. Imagine aliens shaking hands with politicians and thinking, yeah, these guys seem trustworthy. If that's true, then the smartest beings in the galaxy have the negotiation skills of a used car salesman. 22. Then there's the wild claim that the US has secret alien weapons hidden in Antarctica. Why Antarctica? Because nothing says great hiding spot like a giant frozen wasteland full of penguins. According to believers, beneath the ice there are alien bases, crashed UFOs, and high-tech weapons ready to unleash. Meanwhile, the rest of us are looking at Antarctica on Google Earth and seeing ice. Just ice. If aliens were actually chilling under Antarctica, they're the galaxy's worst Airbnb tenants, freezing to death while plotting world domination. And of course, this theory usually ties back to Nazis, because every bad conspiracy does. Apparently, the Nazis also had secret Antarctic UFO bases, because Hitler clearly had the budget for snow forts. If aliens are hiding down there, I hope they at least brought hot chocolate. 23. A particularly bizarre conspiracy insists that aliens control the weather. Hurricanes, droughts, snowstorms, it's all alien sabotage. Forget meteorology or climate change, it's actually little green men fiddling with intergalactic dials. Which means every time you forget an umbrella, it's not bad luck, it's alien trolling. And if that's true, then aliens are basically running the world's pettiest prank show. Like, oh, you planned a wedding? Boom. Hurricane. You wanted to ski? Surprise. Heat wave. Honestly, if aliens really control weather, then they're doing an awful job. Why flood random suburbs when you could just end California's drought? This conspiracy basically turns aliens into cosmic weathermen, except with worse accuracy than your local news anchor. If true, the universe is being run by the same people who invented April Fool's Day. 24. One of the most shameless theories says aliens built the Hoover Dam. Yes, the dam in Nevada. Because clearly, 1930s Americans couldn't possibly build something without extraterrestrial supervision. The theory goes that the dam's size and symmetry are too perfect to be human, which is funny because it leaks. If aliens really designed the Hoover Dam, then they're just as bad at construction as every contractor who promises your bathroom remodel will take just 3 weeks. Not to mention, the dam was built during the Great Depression. So what? Aliens showed up and said, Hey guys, sorry about Wall Street, but here's a giant cement wall for your river. If aliens really built it, they probably regret it now, since we use it to power neon signs for casinos shaped like pyramids. 25. Here's a classy one. Aliens built the Vatican. Yes, the Vatican. Some conspiracy theorists argue that St. Peter's Basilica was inspired or directly designed by aliens. The logic? The architecture is too advanced for humans of that time, which is hilarious because humans were already building cathedrals, castles, and massive aqueducts. But no, this one must be alien blueprints. If that's the case, then the Pope's hat isn't just a hat, it's a Wi-Fi antenna. Maybe communion wafers are actually alien tech disguised as carbs. This theory is the definition of lazy thinking. See something impressive, immediately scream aliens. It's basically the Yelp review of history. Humans couldn't have done this. 2 stars, must have been extraterrestrial. Honestly, if aliens built the Vatican, then I want to see their Google reviews, because Earth's architecture has been downhill ever since. 26. One of my personal favorites. The belief that aliens are living on the dark side of the moon. Not the Pink Floyd album, the literal far side we can't see. Conspiracy theorists claim entire alien civilizations are hanging out there, just chilling in lunar condos, invisible to Earth. Which makes no sense because we've literally mapped the moon from orbit. Unless aliens are the world's best real estate agents, hiding entire cities behind craters, it's nonsense. And even if it were true, what are they doing there? Watching us? Mining rocks? Waiting for Elon Musk to show up with a Tesla? If aliens are living on the moon, then they've picked the galaxy's most boring neighborhood. No atmosphere, no water, and the rent must be cosmic highway robbery. 27. Some say aliens built Machu Picchu in Peru. Of course, because clearly humans couldn't build stone terraces without extraterrestrial architects. Never mind the Inca Empire, one of the most sophisticated societies in history. No, they were just alien contractors in disguise. The theory is that the stones are so perfectly fitted, only advanced technology could explain it, which is hilarious, because humans have been fitting rocks together since forever. If aliens were behind Machu Picchu, then their contribution was basically inventing landscaping. Forget hyperdrives and teleportation. They showed up to Earth and said, let's make this mountain prettier. If that's true, then aliens are the world's most overpaid gardeners. Next time I see someone laying bricks for a patio, I'll just assume they're secretly from Mars. 28. One ridiculous theory says aliens are mining Earth's gold. Yes, gold. Apparently, aliens need it for their atmosphere, their spaceships, or maybe just jewelry. We're not sure. The story goes that ancient aliens enslaved humans to dig up gold for them, which explains early mining civilizations. So basically, we're the galaxy's unpaid interns. Which makes me wonder, why would aliens, who can travel light years, need our gold? It's not like we've got a monopoly. There are literally asteroids out there made entirely of the stuff. But no, they apparently decided, let's go to Earth and make cavemen dig with sticks. If that's true, then aliens are basically the worst bosses in the universe. Minimum wage? Try zero. Health insurance? Not unless you count smallpox. 29. A fan favorite. Aliens caused the Black Plague. Yep, the theory goes that the bubonic plague wasn't fleas on rats. It was aliens testing biological weapons. Because naturally, if you're advanced enough to cross galaxies, your idea of fun is wiping out medieval Europe. If aliens did unleash the plague, they picked the dumbest time. Imagine showing up with futuristic tech just to kill people who think bathing twice a year is a solid hygiene routine. The theory usually claims UFOs were seen in the sky during outbreaks, which is basically the medieval version of blaming everything on witches. If aliens really started the Black Death, they didn't even do it efficiently, because humans bounced back and immediately invented more dumb wars. So thanks, aliens, real game changer. 30. Here's a gem. Aliens invented the internet. That's right, not ARPANET, not computer scientists, aliens. Because clearly, the only way humans could have created Wi-Fi was with cosmic assistance. Which is funny, because if aliens invented the internet, it explains a lot. Like why 90% of it is cat memes and conspiracy theories about aliens. It's basically proof they're trolling us. Here, take this gift of knowledge and enlightenment. and humans immediately used it to argue about pineapple on pizza. If aliens made the internet, then they must be watching us with binoculars laughing their antennae off. We could have built a utopia, but instead we invented TikTok dances and people screaming at each other in YouTube comments. Thanks, aliens. Top-tier contribution. 31. There's a conspiracy that aliens are hiding inside volcanoes. Yes, volcanoes. Because when you're a hyper-advanced space traveler, your ideal Airbnb is inside molten lava. People claim UFOs have been seen entering and leaving volcanoes, which must make for the most dramatic doorbell camera footage in history. If true, that means every eruption is just an alien garage door malfunction. Sorry guys, hit the wrong button, there goes Pompeii. And if aliens really are hiding in volcanoes, then they're either insane or just deeply committed to the world's dumbest game of hide and seek. Honestly, if they're in there, we should just leave them. Any species that willingly moves into a lava pit probably isn't bringing us peace and prosperity, more like smoke and insurance claims. 32. Some folks think aliens built the Great Zimbabwe ruins in Africa. Apparently, stone walls over 30 feet tall are just too much for ancient Africans to have managed, so obviously it had to be Martians. This is the kind of logic that makes you want to bang your head against the nearest alien monolith. The ruins were built by the Shona people, who had an advanced society with trade networks spanning thousands of miles. But no, according to conspiracy theorists, it couldn't possibly have been them. It had to be alien contractors moonlighting in southern Africa. Which is absurd because if aliens did it, why stop there? Why not build an alien strip mall or a McDonald's with warp drive? The Great Zimbabwe alien theory is just the universe's worst history eraser tool. 33. Here's one straight out of sci-fi fanfiction. Aliens are abducting humans to create hybrids. The idea is that they're mixing our DNA with theirs to make some kind of ultimate space baby. Which begs the question, why us? If you're advanced enough to fly across galaxies, is your dating pool really that bad? The theory claims aliens steal people in their sleep, take them aboard ships, run weird experiments, and then return them with no memory. Which sounds less like a scientific program and more like an interstellar frat hazing. And if hybrids really exist, where are they? Walking among us? On reality TV? Honestly, if aliens are creating hybrids, they need to step up their game. Because so far, the only alien-human hybrids I see are YouTubers with neon hair and sponsored merch. 34. Finally, some believe aliens built the Amazon rainforest. Yes, the rainforest. According to this theory, the Amazon is too lush, too vast, too biodiverse to be natural. It must have been planted by extraterrestrials, which of course makes sense. Forget terraforming Mars or exploring the galaxy. Aliens decided to create the world's biggest mosquito breeding ground. If they really planted it, then they clearly hate humanity, because nothing says cosmic love letter like malaria and poisonous frogs. And if the Amazon is an alien project, then deforestation must be their worst Yelp review. Imagine traveling across the stars just to plant trees, only for humans to chop them down to build Walmart. If that's true, then aliens probably don't need to invade. They'll just sit back and watch us ruin their cosmic landscaping. 35. There's a theory that aliens live underwater in secret cities, which makes sense because apparently interstellar species looked at the entire universe and said, nah, the best real estate is next to tuna. Believers claim UFOs are really USOs, unidentified submerged objects, zipping in and out of the ocean like dolphins with a timeshare. Which begs the question, if aliens are living underwater, why are we still finding SpongeBob DVDs at the bottom of swimming pools? You're telling me these beings can build civilizations in crushing pressure zones but can't send us better snorkels? And of course, the sightings always happen when someone with the worst camera on Earth happens to be nearby. If aliens really are living in the ocean, they're basically the galaxy's weirdest scuba club, hiding from us while we dump plastic straws on their front lawn. 36. Some insist aliens are responsible for the Loch Ness monster. Because obviously, if you're an advanced civilization with the power of light-speed travel, you'll want to drop off one aquatic dinosaur in Scotland for the aesthetic. The theory goes that Nessie is either an alien pet, an alien experiment, or maybe just the galaxy's worst Uber drop-off. Which, honestly, if true, makes Nessie the most underwhelming alien project of all time. Forget pyramids, forget spaceships, just one lumpy sea serpent making cameo appearances for blurry tourists. If aliens really planted Nessie, then they're just trolling us. It's like if Elon Musk built a Mars colony and only sent one guy with a snorkel. Imagine traveling light years just to introduce Scotland to the concept of sea weirdness. Thanks, aliens. Real contribution. 37. Another gem. The claim that aliens are secretly powering the global economy. Apparently, money isn't backed by gold or government promises. It's backed by alien tech. The theory suggests our entire financial system is just a giant interstellar pyramid scheme, which honestly explains Wall Street. People think bankers are working hard, but no. It's aliens pulling levers somewhere in space, deciding whether your crypto goes up or down. If that's true, then every stock crash isn't human incompetence. It's just Martians laughing while pushing the recession button. And if aliens really control money, then they're as bad at it as we are. Inflation, debt ceilings, recessions, it's like letting toddlers run a lemonade stand, except the toddlers have warp drives. Maybe the real conspiracy isn't that aliens control the economy, but that they're addicted to gambling with it. 38. Some people think aliens are the reason behind deja vu. That weird moment when you swear you've lived something before? Yeah, apparently that's aliens resetting the simulation. Which means every time you feel like you've been somewhere before, congratulations, you've just been patched like a video game. The theory basically makes aliens into IT interns constantly rebooting Earth like a Windows 98 desktop, which explains glitches like deja vu, but also why we keep having Fast and Furious sequels. If aliens really are responsible, then deja vu isn't mysterious at all. It's just cosmic lag. And if that's true, then aliens are terrible programmers. Honestly, if I'm living in a simulation, I want at least one cool cheat code. Infinite pizza, laser eyes, something. Not just, didn't I already walk into this gas station once before? 39. There's the theory that aliens built the Denver International Airport, not just funded it, literally built it as their secret base. Why? Because apparently a giant airport in Colorado with weird murals is the perfect cover for intergalactic operations. Forget hidden islands or lunar bases. Aliens apparently chose Denver, which means interstellar travelers can cross galaxies but still need to connect through TSA. And people actually believe the underground tunnels aren't for baggage, but for alien conclaves plotting world domination. Imagine aliens flying light years, only to spend their layover eating soggy airport sandwiches at Gate B-17. If aliens really picked DIA as their HQ, then Earth's safest secret is just blending in with everyone's hatred of flight delays. Honestly, I'm more scared of United Airlines than little green men. 40. Some conspiracy theorists think aliens are stealing our DNA. Apparently, abductions aren't about experiments. They're about harvesting our genetic material to save their species. Which makes sense, because if you can travel billions of miles, why not break into bedrooms like the world's creepiest raccoon? People claim aliens take hair, skin samples, and occasionally entire organs. If true, then aliens are the laziest scientists ever. Why Earth? There are billions of planets out there, but sure, this one, with humans who think energy drinks count as hydration, has the perfect DNA. If aliens are splicing us into their genetics, then their species is doomed. The future of their civilization will be half interstellar genius, half guy who can't microwave popcorn without starting a fire. 41. There's also the claim that aliens run Hollywood, which honestly explains some of the sequels we get. The theory is that aliens use movies to soften us up for their eventual arrival, which means every Michael Bay explosion was actually an alien PSA. People point to UFO cameos in blockbusters and say, see? That's disclosure if true. Then aliens have terrible taste in cinema. Out of all the genres, they chose to prep humanity with bad remakes and Marvel movies. Imagine crossing galaxies just to greenlight Sharknado. And if they really control Hollywood, then the Oscars are basically alien performance reviews. Honestly, I'd be less shocked to see a UFO than to see a new original script in theaters. 42. One of the dumber ones. Aliens are powering Earth's volcanoes as giant energy outlets. According to this gem, volcanoes are alien gas stations, where UFOs refuel before zipping back to space. Which is wild. Because if you can build a ship that folds time and space, but you still need magma, like it's unleaded premium, maybe rethink your tech. Imagine pulling into a volcano like it's a Shell station. Fill her up with lava, buddy, and check the windshield wipers while you're at it. If that's true, then Yellowstone is less a supervolcano and more a cosmic Costco gas station. Honestly, if aliens are really fueling up here, they should at least leave us coupons. 43. Some claim aliens are behind crop genetics, GMO corn, alien tech, hybrid tomatoes, extraterrestrial influence. Forget Monsanto. It's Martians. Apparently, aliens are upgrading our food supply, which explains why strawberries are now the size of small dogs. Which makes sense if you think their grand plan is to turn Earth into an intergalactic Whole Foods. But if they're behind GMOs, then their experiments are pathetic. You traveled light years, and the best you've got is seedless watermelon? Honestly, I expected glowing apples or self-peeling bananas, not corn that doesn't die as fast. If aliens are tweaking our crops, then they're basically cosmic farmers market hipsters. Yeah, this kale is infused with stardust, $9.99 a bunch. 44. Then we've got the crowd that swears aliens wrote Shakespeare. Yes, the plays. Because apparently one human couldn't possibly write both Hamlet and Macbeth without extraterrestrial help. Which sure, if you ignore the fact that people were already writing epics for centuries, then maybe space ghosts did it. Imagine aliens showing up, bypassing math, science, and technology and saying, "Nah, let's do some Elizabethan theater." If Shakespeare was an alien mouthpiece, then Romeo and Juliet is basically their way of saying, "Don't date dumb teenagers." And Macbeth? Just a warning about being overly ambitious when stabbing people. Honestly, if aliens wrote Shakespeare, then they peaked too early. What have they done since? Because if King Lear was their magnum opus, then TikTok is their rock bottom. 45. Some believe aliens live disguised as pets. Yes, your cat isn't aloof. He's an alien spy. Dogs aren't loyal. They're extraterrestrial informants. Which, honestly, explains why cats stare at walls for hours and why dogs always know when you're making a sandwich. According to this theory, aliens are observing humanity through domesticated animals, which means your goldfish isn't bored. He's just filing daily reports. If that's true, then humanity's secrets are being relayed by a chihuahua in a sweater. And let's be real, if cats are alien agents, then they're terrible at it. They nap 18 hours a day and occasionally knock over cups. If that's advanced surveillance, then the galaxy runs on chaos and hairballs. 46. Another group swears aliens are responsible for Elvis still being alive. Apparently, the king didn't die, he was abducted. Which makes sense, because why cure cancer when you can beam up a guy in sequins? The story goes that Elvis was too important to lose, so aliens saved him, and he's now rocking out on another planet. Which, if true, means there's an alien Graceland somewhere in the Andromeda Galaxy. Honestly, if aliens wanted Earth's cultural icons, they could have taken Shakespeare, Mozart, or even Beyoncé. But no, they picked a sweaty man in rhinestones singing about hound dogs. If Elvis is alive in space, then I hope he at least got a better jumpsuit. 47. Some insist aliens designed the human body, which is hilarious because if aliens designed us, they're terrible engineers. Knees fail at 40, spines hurt from sitting, and the appendix is just a time bomb. If aliens built us, then they're the IKEA of biology. Missing screws, vague instructions, and everything collapses under pressure. The theory usually says they made us in their image, which is depressing because that means aliens also get seasonal allergies and lower back pain. Honestly, if they designed humans, then they phoned it in. 2 arms, 2 legs, brain that self-destructs on Twitter. Good enough, ship it. If aliens really built us, they should have at least added a cup holder. 48. Some people claim aliens built the internet memes. Yes, memes. Apparently, those cat pictures and SpongeBob edits aren't just human nonsense. They're subliminal alien messages, which means distracted boyfriend is actually a cosmic warning, and Shrek is love, Shrek is life is a prophecy. If that's true, then aliens are running the dumbest communication campaign in the galaxy. Forget crop circles. They're just sending us minion quotes. Imagine an alien council debating which meme best prepares humanity for first contact. Should we use Pepe or Wojak? If memes are alien messages, then no wonder they haven't landed. They've seen our comment sections. Honestly, if aliens are behind memes, then they're the most chaotic trolls in existence. 49. There's the theory that aliens are hiding inside Mount Rushmore. Apparently, the monument is just a cover for an alien base carved into the mountain, which means those giant stone presidents aren't symbols of America. They're door locks. The idea is that the government worked with aliens to disguise the entrance, which makes me wonder, why pick 4 giant faces? Why not just build a shed? If aliens are hiding in Mount Rushmore, then they're basically playing cosmic hide-and-seek with the worst camouflage ever. And if Washington's nose ever falls off, does that mean the mothership takes off? Honestly, if aliens are in there, they must be bored out of their skulls, trapped behind the world's most touristy gift shop. 50. And now we get to the real star, the conspiracy that aliens are behind IKEA. Yes, IKEA. According to some believers, the Swedish furniture giant is actually alien technology designed to test human patience, which explains why every instruction manual looks like it was drawn by a drunk Martian. The theory says the labyrinthine store layout is modeled after alien mazes, designed to disorient us while we slowly accept their dominance. And honestly, if any company feels extraterrestrial, it's IKEA. Cheap, confusing, frustrating, yet somehow addictive. If aliens are testing humanity, then flat-pack furniture is the cruelest experiment ever. Forget Area 51. The real alien base is Ale 37, right next to the meatballs. 51. And finally, the dumbest, most beautiful conspiracy of them all. Aliens are controlling humanity through hats. Yes, hats. According to this fever dream, aliens use headwear, beanies, baseball caps, cowboy hats, as antennas to send subliminal signals, which means every time you put on a fedora, you're basically live streaming your thoughts to Mars. If true, then the Kentucky Derby is the galaxy's Super Bowl. Imagine aliens watching us through 10-gallon hats, wondering why we spent centuries inventing styles just to cover bald spots. This theory is so perfectly stupid it almost makes sense. Forget pyramids, forget Atlantis, forget secret bases. The entire fate of humanity is apparently determined by headgear, which means the most powerful man on Earth isn't a president, it's Pharrell Williams in that giant hat. Mic drop. And there you have it, 51 shining reminders that when humans run out of common sense, they invent cosmic babysitters to explain rocks, cows, and bad weather. Honestly, the only real mystery is how people keep a straight face while typing this nonsense. So, which one deserves the crown for dumbest alien conspiracy? Drop your vote in the comments, or better yet, add the craziest one you've ever heard. I know Reddit's got more. Hit like, subscribe, and strap in, because if this was the shallow end of human stupidity, the deep end is waiting.